What's the deal with this fight?
Did you ever see that Gary Larson cartoon
where
the
talking about the goddamn fight?
Let me talk about this Gary Larson cartoon.
Because some terrible.
It's one of my favorite Far Sides.
Okay.
It's just like it's two muggers, and then there's like this guy who's like it's not a guy. It's like this like reptile like monster with a trench coat on, and its tail is coming out the bottom of its trench coat, and it has like this Halloween mask of a human face over it and a hat on, and it's like clearly like a foreboding terrible monster, and the caption is, "Yes, I would like a knuckle sandwich." That's great because just in that fleeting moment, like just one image and one caption, you're like, "This is awesome!" Like yeah. All right.
When I'm not a big boxing fan, I don't really care. But a friend of mine had a party. It was fun to go watch a big thing. And it's a big
Terry.
I did not go to Terry's. I was.
The end of that story was you going to Terry.
I'm almost certain if I show up at whoever Terry's. Also, it didn't say where the fucking place was. It didn't say. It just said Terry. That person knows I don't know who they are. That's just saying, if you hear noise, fuck you, I left a note. When Manny Pacquiao came out, behind him was Jimmy Kimmel dressed like Run DMC for some reason. And he was behind him, like when they come out with the entourage, they're coming out. Behind him is Jimmy Kimmel, who's being very good at finding his camera. And so he's behind Manny Pacquiao. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Was Manny Pacquiao on the Jimmy Kimmel show a lot? I don't know.
We're all on Jimmy Kimmel's show at any given time.
The cynical part of me said, okay, that maybe the whatever network he's on, is Viacom, whatever the fucking thing, like they have a big stake in this, or that's just Jimmy Kimmel being hilarious. That idea goes out the window when Mayweather comes out, and I'm not fucking with you if you haven't seen this. The fucking Burger King guy, the scary, the king with the fucking horrifying Burger King mask. And he's walking up behind Floyd Mayweather. Burger King!
I was crying
that is
all the way
the
to
craziest
the
goddamn shit I've ever seen. And also, Floyd Mayweather was dressed like a Persian prostitute from the 90s. He had some weird python, like it was made of snake. I think it was python. Wow. That's really a weird new direction for fights to go where the Burger King dude is coming out behind him.
Wait, for the actual Burger King? I don't.
I mean, no one's the actual Burger King.
I made it 42 years.
Sorry, sweetie.
That's all right. On one hand, I had the magic, but on the other hand, I was obeying a lot of laws that didn't make sense. A lot of which were super unfair to women. Like that whole regime is like, don't give unto a woman the patties that would have more cheese for a man, and sire the seed unto the extra onions. It's a lot of cryptic Aramaic shit. The actual Burger King guy, like it was a promotion.
You know the commercial where the guy has the mask on and he's in bed with your wife all of a sudden. He never scares everybody to death, and he's got that weird smiling visage. The Burger King character.
Like the modern, ironic Burger King
guy.
Big head like Jack in the Box, but it's a giant man's face.
Kind of a roguish, kind of charming smile on his weird face. He was walking out behind Floyd Money Mayweather, who's one of the most universally unlikable human beings.
So Jimmy Kimmel is the Coke to Burger King's Pepsi? Like he was like on the other side?
Yeah.
So there was just like two boxers with two corporate sponsors, one of which is Jimmy Kimmel.
I would like to live in this universe because Floyd Mayweather is notoriously a terrible person.
Well, come on, he beat his wife. Give him a break.
That's true.
Give him a break. It takes a lot of balls.
I forget who said it. Some comic, I forget who it was. Someone I follow on Twitter, who are mostly comedians, said rooting for Floyd Mayweather is like rooting for Rocky if he was fighting Adrian. I don't know who wrote that, but that was very funny. So I would like to live in a world where Jimmy Kimmel goes, "Hey, Manny Pacquiao, like you came on my show one time. It'd be pretty funny if I was dressed like Run DMC and come out behind you." And he was like, get the gold chain because it was Run DMC.
I feel like that was because. And he was there also last night behind Mayweather. Bieber walks out with
Justin
Mayweather.
Justin
So
Bieber.
Bieber was there as well.
It was Bieber and Burger King.
I feel like that might have been Kimmel saying, "Hey man, who do you have behind you? Let me be the guy behind you."
I hope so.
May I ask a question? If everybody understands this, I can fuck off. But what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the? Is it just like, oh,
you punch the other person?
No, but I
until
mean,
they
like,
stop.
why was this such a big deal? Like, what is the? Because it seemed like this was like a big, like, culturally important thing.
Normally, when boxers are announced, they come out and they have an entourage with them. They're trained.
But why are they fighting each other? So one is one gets to eat the other one, or like what? $100 million.
Floyd Mayweather made $180 million to fight a guy that he knew he was
just on the fight. Then other stuff he made.
Sweetie, are you
King
asking about boxing in general? Or are you saying? Like,
I'm asking less about boxing in general, the sport. And like I said, I can totally fuck off. But I mean, like this big fight where I see on Drew Barrymore's Instagram, she's like, "It's fight night," and I'm like, Drew, what? Why are we?
I think that's just
these big events.
If you live long enough, you'll see that happen every 8 years. I think 8 years ago.
Okay, so it's like 8 years. So what had to happen for this to be
it's
like?
A big hype
these
factory.
Guys are their promoters are both getting very rich.
Well, they're
or
famous.
They probably have the same promoter.
They're both
Boxers.
number one, and then okay.
They're just famous boxers, and they're like, oh, who do we want to get people to buy tickets for? How about the 2 most famous guys we can think of?
These
Done.
things, pay-per-view, the money is like beyond anything. I'm not even sure why. I guess because you can't do pay-per-view football because I guess what it is that the sports leagues, they have this whole tournament thing set up. So whereas boxing, 2 guys beating each other up, you can arrange one event around
I
it.
ask us half jokingly, does it make you hard?
I know. I've never.
Wait, why do you play sports now, though? I mean, it's just sports.
No, but there's sports, and then there's like.
It's
I mean,
just
you don't
sports.
say no, but with like sports, you don't say like, we got okay. This is gonna
Look,
be embarrassing. We don't have
actually,
Shaquille O'Neal.
As a
and,
person who doesn't give a shit about any sports,
kinda
I
do.
mean, one of the few that makes sense in big air quotes is like, okay, let's fucking like, who are we kidding? Like fine, let's say,
because like you said, it's every
let's
8
stop
years.
shooting each other looks. The weird way that guys can be mean to each other, the whole hierarchy that we live under, like the idea of 2 of them getting into a ring and literally being told one of you leaves, the other one doesn't. Yeah, there's padding everywhere and all this stuff, and there's all these rules, but it's like I don't watch boxing. I don't watch any sports, but but like what the fuck's the difference between that and football? It's like that you just spread it out into team play and stuff, but what do you mean?
Right,
it's like this is what guys are always thinking. It's like
I mean, obviously, it's valuable in some way.
I'm gonna punch your face. I'm gonna punch your face.
Oh my God, Dan, you're getting hard right now. I can see.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being a kid and 2 kids getting in a fight, and it's always like, I don't know, it's always what's in the air. There's like something that has to be paid attention to, though, is like the idea is like everyone's supposed to be scared of getting beaten up. Everyone's supposed to be scared of a fist hitting you in the face. That's what guys live under. It's like, oh, maybe I'll beat you up. Maybe I'll beat you up. Like it's always like unspoken and in the air.
These boxing fights just feel like Coliseum stuff.
Well, it hasn't changed.
Right, but they
Of
also
course it feels like Coliseum
they
stuff.
also
It feels-
train, and they're also
Of course,
there's
yeah, and they're the
science.
best
There
of
is
their-
science. and
Yeah,
there is conditioning
absolutely.
behind
But
it, so it's
like,
not-
but I believe less in the science when Jimmy Kimmel is wearing a hot dog on his head or whatever.
Well, that's the problem with the business of boxing as opposed to the sport of boxing. What we saw last night was
Right, and this is all about the business
In its
of
execution
boxing.
was, I guess, both in a way. We saw the execution of the business of boxing, the way that played out, all the way through, all the way around. But in it, those guys actually had to choreograph sort of what they were doing to make that pay off. It was really, really odd how in the 6th or 7th round, the announcers all uniformly started criticizing Pacquiao for not fighting as much as he would have, even though Mayweather never came out and tried to attack him. Mayweather ran away the entire fight. And
Oh,
it
you
was sort of
think
they
that whole thing was really? I mean, I'll believe
Well,
it.
I don't know. I think that in that outcome that they had, everybody wins. In other words, Pacquiao,
Yeah.
whether Pacquiao
Whereas
wins or
we have
loses,
seen the business model fail when somebody comes out and does arguably what the greatest boxer in the world should do, Mike Tyson, which is go literally, and like the other guy just goes down and it's over, and everyone goes, "Yay, boo!" I want my money back, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
so I would believe
and then
you.
and then this way, sort of Mayweather. If Mayweather had lost that fight, everybody who hates him, which is almost everybody, would have pulled him down and said, well, no, he's never going to be amongst the greatest fighters in the world. Now that question is still in the air because he won that fight.
If he wins one more, he says if he wins one more fight, he will tie the greatest record, Jake LaMotta's record of 49-0. And if he does that, he's going to...
LaMotta fought some of the best fighters available in the world. Yeah. Mayweather had nothing to pick from. And when he did have somebody to fight, and you want to know why this was so hyped and such a big deal, for 5 to 6 years, Mayweather refused to fight him. For weird reasons, like he opposed...
Not enough Burger King.
He opposed the type of blood testing because he claimed that he was afraid of having a needle stuck in his arm. Or some weird shit like this. He made every excuse he could to avoid fighting Pacquiao until now, when they're both 5 years past the time when they should have fought
Aaron,
each
one
other.
thing's for sure. I went out. You asked, like, does it get you hard? What it does is it creates a sea of violence. And there's some statistic of the amount of domestic violence that happens after major boxing bouts and Super Bowls and stuff. Yeah. I went out afterwards to the drawing room, and there was just a general frisson of just violence in the air. Not like there was fights starting, but everybody was just talking about, when I was a kid, I fucking boom, I got a black eye. Everyone was telling stories.
I would fucking boom them. Is that what you said?
I just said a bunch of gibberish in a row.
Yeah. But I like that. I would fucking boom them.
So, but there was I got to get out of here because there was just generally like kind of a weird, like hostile testosterone.
Yeah, it gets.
Well, even just thinking about it fills me with testosterone. I'm probably wrong, but I feel like I could beat Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, let's all get on the same page. I obviously all organized sports, especially including gladiatorial combat between two guys who undoubtedly would inspire in a normal world like everyone else's like fealty behind like a possibly subversive army. Like all of this shit is exercises in pacifying jingoism. You get the people that you hear in bars that are just like, yo, baby, yo, baby. Like those guys, that's all White House burning energy just going down the drain, down the drain into fucking Toys R Us, just down into diaper funds. Boy, yeah, baby, yeah. All those guys are like biologically meant to be the guys carrying the spears at the fronts of like armies that are still settling who gets to sow their seed across the planet. Now we have this empire where we're all sitting here sucking on pacifiers. How are we going to keep these people from like going like, look, I'm not smart. I don't get Mr. Show. Fuck this! I've never seen Better Off Dead. I don't get it. Like those guys are fucking either in prison or they're working on Wall Street, and you give them the occasional basketball game so that they can pound the table and the hot wings can fly in the air. And all the energy that they'd otherwise use to maybe storm the castle or just be like hanging out in an alley. What else would they do with that energy? Politically, they'd have nothing to do but like conspire. It's like you organize sports, especially when it's two fucking hulking dudes who are like what do you respect more than a guy that can beat up another guy and like to turn them into property, to turn them into the lowest of the low while shining the spotlight on them and collecting money that scatters to the floor around them as their blood flows.
God,
and they're beating each other and they're fucking like they live horrible lives.
You're getting me hard, Dan.
Sorry, I don't want to belittle the art of beating the shit out of anybody, but
well, you should. I mean, it's just like,
no, I know. I mean, like
the thing is, like you're asking, I don't know. I guess
I know.
The insecure part of me wanted you to know. Yeah, I know this is fucking stupid.
No, but like I understand. I'm not saying I don't understand like the art of boxing. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I took boxing for a while. A lot of you don't know. See, my instructor is here, and he's like, I remember when she was there. They called me Red, and I did boxing.
When was this? How long ago was this?
I did it after high school, and I did it right before I met you in Atlanta. I did boxing and kickboxing. Kickboxing. And I held my ears, and I did a whole thing.
Well, then you know why boxing's neat. All right, next topic.
No, but I mean, yeah, and we're
baited
moving
us.
on. No, I'm not saying. I understand why the sport is important. What I was wondering was why this fight in particular was important, and Demore explained
every
decade
there's like a pay-per-view event. Like that's what it is.
Whatever Drew Barrymore does.
Always disappointed to see my friend, whatever. But I mean, like all my friends are jocks. Who cares? Everyone loves sports. The sports are great. Suck my dick. All right.